We're joined now by Dr. Jim Mintert, who is a professor and director of the Center for Commercial Agriculture at Purdue University. Jim, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Lyndall.
Let's talk just a little bit as we kick things off about what you and your team do at Purdue.
So in 2015, we launched a joint project with the CME Group to survey the nation's farmers, the primary producers of the main ag commodities on the crop side, soybeans, corn, wheat, and cotton, and on the livestock side, beef, pork, and dairy, to learn more about what was impacting their operation. And we wanted to use that to create a sentiment index that really kind of paralleled what the University of Michigan has done for so many decades with respect to consumer sentiment. So we kind of modeled our program after theirs and started doing those telephone surveys in 2015, and we've been publishing the reports ever since.
And it's a monthly measure of a lot of different topics. Some of those questions are repeated month to month?
Yeah, so to do the base index, we have 5 base questions that we ask people at the outset of every telephone survey. And then we promise people to try not to keep them on the phone for more than 5 minutes, and it doesn't take 5 minutes to answer those 5 questions. So that gives us chances to ask people lots of other questions about contemporaneous things in agriculture that are influencing not only their sentiment, but maybe just their farming operation in general, and learn more about what they're thinking.
Your presentation topic today was the challenges that U.S. producers face. What are you seeing there in general? I know that's probably a topic that has a lot of layers, but in general, what are these producers telling you?
Well, so one of the questions we've been asking recently to maybe better understand their overall sentiment is, what are your biggest concerns looking ahead to 2023? And probably no surprise to your viewers that overwhelmingly they're telling us input prices are their number one concern. I think 44% of the people in the most recent survey said that, and that's been pretty consistent for several months now. And then related to that, people are telling us they're still worried about input availability. In fact, in recent surveys, between 12 and about 15% of our respondents have been saying that's one of their primary concerns. So when you put those two together, input prices, and of course we've seen input prices rise dramatically over the last 2 years, and combine that with concerns about whether or not we can actually get the inputs that we need to put a crop in the ground successfully and plant that crop. Those two really explain why people are so much unease and so concerned about the future.
Who accesses this information as part of the work they do, and then what are some of the practical applications of having this type of data to look at?
Well, first of all, we're the only monthly survey of producers. So if you want to know what producers think, our survey is really the only source of information. And as a result, there's a lot of different groups of people that look at it. Policymakers subscribe to our reports and call us and make contact with us. Agribusiness firms, ag lenders, and obviously individual farmers are looking at it as well.
And it's probably reassuring, even though some of the information is a little bit hard to take in, I'm sure sometimes, but reassuring that they're not alone in the challenges they face and in forecasting things for the future, etc.
Well, and it's a great way for us to communicate, or for them to communicate with policymakers, because of that monthly aspect. And so, you know, if you're thinking about from a policy standpoint, what are the big concerns for farmers? Input prices and input availability is front and center. And so to the extent that we can do something from a policy standpoint there, that lets people know what farmers are worried about and what they're thinking about and what influences their success of their business.
Okay, Jim, great information. Thank you very much. And to access those materials that Jim mentioned, we have a link at sunup.okstate.edu.